We are currently 2 wins in a row when it comes to profit or loss. One of the episodes being £61, the other one £102. Casually chilling out in the green of £155.95. Welcome your wonderful faces back to episode number 76 of the series Profit or Loss. I buy faulty items on eBay, attempt to fix them and sell them on for a profit. What do we have today? I paid a hefty sum of £200 for this faulty PlayStation 5, but wait, we do in fact have, as long as I think it's the right one, yeah, we do in fact have a warranty sticker on this console, so it's not been opened before. The description itself states that the console has a warranty sticker intact and has not been worked on before. The console does not power on, a unit bleeps 3 times and nothing else. I mistakenly thought I was trying to fix this console in a previous episode, but the reason I purchased this is because I believe if it beeps 3 times, the issue that you actually have is something to do with the BIOS. I'm really hoping this is an easy fix because that would mean a nice, quick, easy profit. And that is what the series is all about. Let's stick it in and see what's going on. Do we confirm the 3 beeps? Don't know why I'm putting HDMI in, but I'm there now. And a 3, 2, 1. We got a beep. Oh. Well, that's a blue light. That's not 3 beeps. Does it now 3 beeps and shut off? The disk drive is wearing up. We have a disk? Hold on. God of War? Ragnarok? I don't know how much that's worth, but we'll take that as a win. Do we have a white light? We do, we have a white light. Look. All right, now I've got the DJI on, so you'll be able to see what the situation is with this when we switch over, because usually I can't do it. That's good, it said HDMI 1. This is going to pick up an image. It picks up an image. What on earth? I've just disabled HDCP, so hopefully we're going to see something on the game screen. Yeah, we do. Look, makes no sense. Let me put a disc in. How does it sound? I mean, that took a very long time for the disc to actually go in. So the rollers might need a little bit of a clean. It sounds healthy when it's reading the disc though. And it does look like it is reading it from what I can see from that spinny thing. Let's load up God of War and just double check, see what's going on. Can't start the game or app. Is it because I'm not connected to the internet? So I've now just connected to the internet. Can I play it now? Because it might have just needed to do some verification stuff. Still no. But Astro's Playroom, can I play that? Well, it might be. It's just popped up in the top right that God of War needs to update. Astro's Playroom seems to be absolutely fine. No issues there. It's just doing some business. It also looks super clean in the vents here. So that's also a result. It's done the update supposedly. It does say installing. But does it launch now? It could be because of HDCP. Some games actually don't work without it. We should just actually verify that though. So we go over to HDMI 1 again. Picks it up straight away. And there we go. Yeah. This seems to be working absolutely fine. HDCP hasn't been re-enabled, which is interesting, but it does say if I hover over it, if you turn off this setting, some games and apps can't be used, which is why I'm assuming I actually got that error in the first place. So I've actually gone ahead with the reset with this PS5. I'm really not happy with how it's taking games in, so I'm going to take the disk drive apart and give it a nice clean. I do genuinely believe it's just the rollers, which means that I do have to unfortunately void the warranty sticker, but the warranty's already void because it's an old PS5. And I can get a better look to see if it actually needs a full-on clean. Let's go ahead then and just quickly remove the disk drive and see why, potentially. These flies recently, honestly, I don't smell, I promise. Let's see why the disc, for example, here is really slow. I'll get you a shot of it now, actually. Right, console's on. So if I go ahead and try and put this disc in, watch. Can you see how it struggles? And what's it like coming out? Coming out is not too bad. Going in? It's very slow. Sometimes it gets stuck. So I think that is just going to be genuinely the rollers. Take out the power and start removing some screws. You can probably tell that I'm not like ecstatic about this, but recently the prices of PS5s are definitely coming down on eBay. So I paid £200 for this probably around about a month ago now, and I've seen such a drastic change with actually trying to sell PS5s recently, which definitely sucks. And it would have been nice to obviously have some better content, a better fix, for example. I am going to have to give this one a thorough test just to make sure that we don't get those 3 beeps again. It's entirely possible they sent me the wrong PS5. I doubt it if it's got the warranty sticker, etc. In there is pretty much as clean as it gets as well. Like very, very minimal dust. Even though I can't really see much to this in terms of like dust, I am gonna, I mean there's a little bits here. Because the console is quite old, I am gonna take it apart and just give it a quick clean out. It's very possible that those 3 beats might mean that it's overheating rather than the BIOS. Oh wow, can you see that? That is a big dust bunny down here. If that's near the power supply and this machine is just getting hot, that could be what the 3 beeps are. Let's get inside this disk drive then. Very simple to do. Couple of screws here and there. Fun fact, if you don't put these screws back properly, it's going to make a very loud noise, this disk drive. A few more screws for the daughter board that we have. I think it's 2. Yeah, it is. Because there's a ribbon cable on the back of the daughter board just here that you need to take off. And then that actually frees up the disk drive itself. Now, I'm no expert on these. I'm actually really useless with it. But like I said, I think it's going to be the rollers here that are causing an issue. So to get inside this part, again, it's just a few little screws. That should now just come off like that. The rollers themselves, in my opinion, don't look too bad, but they could be very deceiving on the eye. It might be these bits down here that are struggling. So for this, we just get some IPA on a cotton swab and just go over these rollers. I don't know if you can see, there is tiny bits of dirt. I actually think this one is a little bit more dirty. Okay, well, I'll put it back together and just see if that's a little bit better. All right, so I've put a couple of screws in just so it doesn't make any noise or anything or rattling about when we go to give this a test. So let's power it on. Does the disc go in okay and read, etc.? A lot better. Oh. Oh. I don't know if you can hear that. Making a really weird noise. That's not good. Disc isn't doing anything. And it's beeping 3 times as if the disc isn't in there. So maybe that's what the 3 beeps were about. Let's try again. The disc isn't going in the whole way. How strange. Why is that? The disc is almost just sitting on the rim here, but it's trying to spin. I can see it trying to spin. So strange. So I think I've done what I think I should have done, which is taking it apart and put it back together, because I feel like with the disk drive, it might have been something that I did wrong. So I'm going to start with that. And worst case scenario, if I need to change out the disk drive, I will. It's not an ideal solution, but it's the quickest option. Let's see what happens. Does it power on? Yes, it does. I haven't broken anything further. Does it take the disk and does it read the disk? Okay, that's again a bit better. Is it working? It sounds like it's working. I've just gone ahead and double checked everything. The game has fully installed completely. I can play it no problem. I'm just installing Fortnite to stress test the console. The disc goes in and out super easy now compared to what it did, as you can tell. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and clean this console out. I'm not going to show you that because you've probably seen that 1,000 times. There is in fact a video just up here of me showing you how to do that. So if you want to check it out, then click that video. What I will do is show you how dusty this is. Okay, so I've just literally taken out the motherboard and the heatsink, and it is really dusty down here. So a lot of the dust has actually flown off, the loose dust, but we have thick dust bunnies, as well as the fact the power supply, again, is pretty blocked and clogged down here. So I do genuinely believe that those 3 beeps were either going to be the disk drive had some sort of an issue with actually taking the disk and therefore it was beeping 3 times, or the previous person who owned this was playing it for a long time. It would shut off and then they try and turn it back on and it would do the 3 beeps because of the overheating and not turn on because it was still hot. I don't think there's a BIOS issue and I don't think there's anything else wrong with this PS5. That's what the chassis now looks like with a good clean. Whilst I'm here, I might as well do the liquid metal as well. Right, you can't really see it because it's over here, but I fully tested the PS5. I even downloaded Fortnite and played that for a good 10 minutes or so, a little bit of stress test, no problems at all. I am going to keep this around the house, but it won't stop me from selling it in a few weeks time, just so then that way I can give it a proper run in. But the good news, the great news, fantastic news is that we've already made a bit of a profit. Stop talking, Joey, and just move on to item number 2. Let's continue this streak, please. Item number 2, I paid a whopping £35 for, and it's a faulty Nintendo Switch. Fantastic condition, even comes, again, I've been saying this a lot recently, with the kickstand, which I'm super happy with. It's the little things when you're buying on eBay. Condition wise, again, fantastic. This is from the same seller that I've bought a few from recently, and again, all the screws look to be intact from what I can tell, and the rails super duper clean. A no power console. Let's go over to the scope and check the charging port. Is that bent a little bit? No, I think it's just my eyes. All right. Oh Lord above, what in the name of flux has happened here? Well, if our APU has survived, I'll be extremely shocked. Good news is that it doesn't look like we have any signs of corrosion or water damage down there, and the top side is okay. It looks like they maybe tried to put a micro USB cable in here on the one side and just completely pushed all those pins back, but they are definitely bridging. So without further ado on this one, let's get this apart. Right, ye old multimeter in continuity mode, so the mode that beeps when we have a complete circuit. So that fuse is absolutely fine. Quick check around BQ. Now the port is still on, so we're going to get duff readings here, and I will definitely take that into consideration when I'm measuring. Let's head on over to M92T36. Do we have any shorts around here? Surely we have a short around here. CPU cap is fine, thank you. This all looks okay, and P13 is going to be okay. So if I go here, what I should read is about 10 ohms or so. Yeah, 14 ohms, perfect. Lo and behold, probably our only issue with this Nintendo Switch specifically is this charging port. And now that we've got it out, let's have a look on the back. Yeah, it just needs to be swapped out. Look at this. Yeesh. What I will actually say is I've had a few charging ports recently that have been ordered from AliExpress, whereby, these are factory by the way, whereby the pins on the inside are a little bit shorter than usual. You might not be able to tell from this angle, but trust me when I say they're a little bit, I'm talking about the copper contacts on the inside are actually shorter on the plastic. For the Nintendo Switches that I've tested when they've had one of these ports on, they dock fine, they charge both ways, so essentially the port still quote-unquote works. But when I was testing it with my mechanic USB-C reader, I was actually getting open line on a few of the contacts, and I believe that this USB port here is shorter than the one that you have on a Nintendo Switch charger. I guess lesson here, just being more so, just check your ports when you get them to make sure they're okay. I've not had this issue before from the supplier that I order these ports from, but these are the 3 that I know of that are a bit shorter than the rest. And if I compare, so this is a port that I know is good and it has a long contacts. If I compare it with this port, can you see it's just not as perfect as what the one on the left is, but they're brand new ports, both of these. I think it's maybe the batch that I got, which was 08H21, whereas this one is 1A021. Anyhow, let's get this Nintendo Switch charging port tinned. So I like to apply just a slither worth of flux, just like that, and then we come in with our solder. So my soldering line now is at 350 degrees Celsius, which I feel like is a good sort of temperature to have. It doesn't burn the plastic and also does the job that it needs to do. Here we go. Temperature, we are going 450 degrees Celsius with an airflow speed of a lovely jubbly 50%. You're going to circulate the air underneath the board. Take this port off. You can see now that looks nice and loose. So I'm going to come in and just simply lift the port up. Just like that. Do you know what? Today I'm not even going to take this out of the holder. I'm going to simply apply my flux just on the board, and we're going to mix, as always, the leaded with the unleaded. Keep that fume extractor on because health is wealth, and just go ahead and fill up exactly what it is we need to fill up. So starting with the ground holes. Just like that. Mix the leaded with the unleaded, and then it should be like a little swoop over. Jubbly. Because the solder isn't the issue here, as you clearly saw. The issue was that the pins have been mashed up. Rotate it again this way. A little bit of flux onto the port. There we go. And just over here, and a little bit there. These switches recently have been super good for profit, so I really hope this is the only issue we have. And if it is, we're going to see a nice profit today. 450 degrees Celsius airflow speed. Again, a nice, cool, calm, collected 50%. Rotating that hot air. Now, what I'm looking for is for everything to molten. And here it goes. Can you see? Now we grab our port. And we just simply dangle it in the air. Wait for that to drop. Any second now. Wait for it. There it goes. Do a little bit of parkour there, you see. Move that hot air around. And now we just like to move the port around as well. Those pins don't look like they're touching, hey? The board. There we go. That looks a bit better. Maybe they still don't look like they're touching. Are the pins on this port okay? Let's find out. Come off in 3, 2, and 1. Hold it. Those pins don't look like they're touching to me, and it might be that the pins on the port are a little bit skew whiff. So that's now solid, because I believe the port is quote unquote flat to the board, which it is. Those pins just don't look like they've got a great bond, but I'll check it. I could be wrong, or maybe it might even be that I didn't tin them correctly, because can you see they don't actually look tinned. So what I'm doing here is moving quick time, cleaning that flux whilst the board is hot, but the board is now cold because I was messing about and checking things. So I'm going to heat it up real quick, just over the top like this, moving the air back and forth. Melt that flux. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing if they are actually on the board or not. There's me talking about the faulty ports, and this one might even have a different fault. Imagine. I mean, they might actually be connected. And it might be that I didn't just get a full tin on them, because the underside of those do look connected to the board. Can you see? It does look soldered. As always, though, let's confirm with a good old poke. Yeah, every single one's solid. I think I just didn't get a proper tin on them, so I didn't hold the soldering iron on long enough for it to actually wrap the solder on this side. I think the underside was fine. But I mean, yeah, it looks like a decent port. Let's see if that has fixed our issue. Oh my god, I don't believe it. So this is the port that I tinned. I've just put the port that I took off back onto the board. I can safely say I've never done it. And am I going to include it in the video? Of course I am. Amazing. But I'm not going to bore you with that instructional video again. So enjoy the time lapse. pretend that that never happened. So quick clean. Can't believe I just tried to sabotage myself. Good job I didn't plug the tester in, hey. This looks like a great port though. Always good to get your practice in, hey. Flat to the board. Yeah, there we go. Looks better. Clean on the back as well. Quick poke test. Ah. Well, none of these are soldered on. Well, it's definitely flat to the board. Maybe not enough solder on the pads. Of course, it's turned into a nightmare. I was convinced that looked all right, but look. Which will probably mean that every single pin on the underside, which is probably around about here where this writing is not going to be connected. So I need to reflow that. How's the pokey looking now? Still horrendous. Could it be that those pins are a little bit lifted on the actual port itself? Perhaps. I've actually just gone ahead and used my mechanic USB-C tester, and what it's telling me is that every single pin underneath is fine. So that all looks soldered. The ones that we have an issue with are the 3 on the front. So what I'm going to do is just use my soldering iron to touch up those ones on the front. And it could just be that these ones were bent up on the port itself, because again, this port looks super flat to the board. Like, it can't get any flatter. Like I said, though, it might have been lack of solder on my part on the pads themselves. But nonetheless, let's just add a little bit of flux here. I'm just going to come in with my Metcal. Just hold these and see if I can get them soldered. I think the hacker might do a better job here because of the bigger tip. Let's see a tad bit more flux just here. Let's use the bigger tip. There we go. Sometimes you just have to improvise. I mean, they look soldered, but again, they did before, so I could be completely and utterly incorrect. We have one loosey-goosey, which is this one. The rest are fine. I'm giving them a real good nudge. Bit more flux. Try and get a little bit more solder on the actual iron now. There we go. We do have a little bridge now though. See if we can get that out. There it is. This one could be how to rectify your mistakes, I guess. How's that looking? Yeah, nice. Let's just double check. Cool. That should be good to go. Should really be in the keyword at this point. Here's our mechanic tester. Plug that in. There we go. Looking okay. I'll put this all back together in the chassis, give it the testing that it needs, and see if we have made a profit. Interestingly enough, I've just gone to start this Nintendo Switch and it's already been reset. So I wonder if previously whoever owned this saw that the charging port was in a state and then just tried to reset it before it actually gave away. So I need to go through, set it up, and then do the testing. The last test I actually have to do is just test it on a docking station. So there we go. All right, it works. I've also just gone through with an update as well. It needed a little one to the next step. Right, and as confirmed, this Nintendo Switch is ready to be sold. All looking fancy and good quality, good condition. That is another one fixed. I can't believe it. Such a good run on these Nintendo Switches. Let's head on over to Sandy's Spectacular spreadsheet to work out today's profit. So we had £35 for the Nintendo Switch and £200 for the PS5. So that brings our total cost to £235. We did in fact have to use a charging port for the Switch, so we're going to go 50p. And our sale price, this is one that's going to actually hurt me a little bit. They've not been selling the same PS5s or Nintendo Switches, so I think for the first time in quite a while, I'm going to have to lower that sale price. So our profits aren't going to be as good. I think I'll get £240 for the PS5, and I think for the Nintendo Switch, I'm going to say £90, bringing our total to £330, which leaves us with a gross profit in today's video of £64.80. Add that down here, £64.80, jubbly. And our total profit for the series is £220.75. I'm just grateful that 3 times in a row we've actually managed to hit a profit. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I'll leave the start to this playlist up here, and if you fancy watching from the beginning, there's your button. Other than that, have a great rest of your day, week/weekend, whatever it is for you, and I will see you in the next one to hopefully make it 4 in a row. Peace.